In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this baby elephant here. I'm going to use the same purple color. Hopefully it's a little darker for you guys to see. The gray one I did here, the big one, was kind of hard to see, so I used a different background. So let's get started. First we'll do the ears. And for the ears, we're going to use single rubber bands. So I'm going to start with a single purple. And I'm going to start from this second peg here and going up. Again, single rubber bands, and we're going around our loom with single rubber bands, and we're going to come down 3 times. And my purple rubber band here is really soft and flexible, so my ear is going to be really soft and flexible. So once I'm here, from the 4th peg down, I'm going to go to the center. And now I'm going to go ahead and finish the other side, coming 3 rubber bands down. Like that. Now we're going to come in the center of the ear, starting from the top, single rubber bands, just going right down to meet this 5th peg there. And we're going to make the ear the exact same way as we did for our bigger elephant. Then from this 5th peg in the center, we're going to come to the diagonally to the edge on the 5th peg there, and then we're going to bring it right across there. And then we're going to close our ear off. And that's what the ear should look like so far. And now we're going to make the ear extension. We're going to go 1 peg right below where the bottom ear is, the main ear part. We're going to take from the center and diagonally to the left, and then we're going to come down 3 pegs. 1 single rubber band, 2, 3, and after that 3rd rubber band, we're going to go in, and now we'll start from the top where the extension ear starts, and we're bringing single rubber bands to meet the bottom peg there where the ear is going to end right there. And so now we're going to take a single rubber band, and this is going to attach it to our main ear here. So we're going to take it from here and put it all the way across. From there all the way across, single rubber band. Again, another single rubber band. We're going to take it from this 2nd peg where the ear extension is all the way across. And now we're going to cap this bottom peg here 2 times. So you can just loop it around your finger twice, and then creating a cap rubber band. And now we're going to go ahead and loop the ear extension. So we're going to reach under the cap rubber band and pull up the top rubber band, whichever that one is, and loop it right onto itself. It should be the one going up the center of the loom. Reach back in under that cap rubber band, and it should go to the left. And then let's finish up the side of the ear here, the extension, and just keep going up. And we're going to pull back the holding rubber band to pull that bottom rubber band and looping it onto itself. And we're going to end at the top of the ear extension right here. And then go ahead and reach in there, grab the bottom rubber band and looping it onto itself. And we are going to continue up the ear, the extended ear, to make it floppy. So now that we have it there, we are going to go ahead and loosen up the side of the ear here. Be careful not to pull these 2 pegs off, or the rubber bands from those 2 pegs. So if you want, you can put your hook there and there to hold it, but we're going to kind of just move it off the middle pegs because we are going to transfer this one and this one onto the main ear from this peg to this peg. So the first peg on the left side to the fourth peg. So we're going to put a hook on the top of the extension on one side. We're going to hold the bottom extension with our finger where the cap band was and pulling our ear off carefully. And there the two holding rubber bands should be sticking out like bunny ears like that. And then we're going to take it to our main ear. The cap band we're going to attach it to the fourth pin from the top on the left side, and the first holding rubber band there, we're going to attach it from this ear to this side, this peg to this peg. So that's the third peg, and then across. And then we're going to grab the other holding rubber band and attaching it from the second to the second middle from the top. And then we are going to go ahead and make sure we attach the top of the extended ear right here where the hook is to the first peg on the left. And make sure all your rubber bands are there so you don't so your ear doesn't come apart. So that's how you attach the ear, the extended part of the ear, to the main ear. And now we're going to put some holding rubber bands to hold our main ear together. So with a single rubber band, we're going to create a triangle on these three pegs here. We're going to take a single, we're going to double it, and we're going to put it on the next three pegs to create that triangle there. And now we're going to take a single rubber band, double it, and we're going to put in this little triangle here. And now we can cap off this lobe here. You can do that 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now we're ready to loop it. So we're going to reach under that cap rubber band, pull the top rubber band around your peg and pulling it onto itself. And we can continue up. Make sure you reach, pull the holding rubber band back, just reach catching the bottom rubber band and bring it onto itself, and continue up to the second peg, reach, pull the holding rubber band, pull it back, and we're going to stop here. And now we can do the rest of the ear. Reach back under that bottom cap where the lobe is, pull the rubber band, and looping it onto itself, and making sure as you go along you are creating teardrops. And reach in here, this center, pull everything back, grab the top rubber band, should go up the center and bring it onto itself. Reach in there again, it should go to the side, and in the side here just reach in, pull everything back, and you want to only grab one single rubber band, which should be at the very bottom. If you can't see it, pull it on the side so you can see it. And again, for each of these you just want to loop one single rubber band up, and it should be the very bottom rubber band that is creating the teardrop and catching all your rubber bands. If there's any tension at all, take your hook and release it. And let's finish the center of the ear first before we loop around. So bring the center up, and now this rubber band will catch our side ear here and the center. So we're going to grab that top rubber band, and bring it onto itself. Again, if there's any tension, release it. And finally, we're going to bring the single rubber band, and this will attach to the head. And we're going to take our holding hook. You should have the holding hooks ready, and you can put it in there to hold it, just in case it comes off, while we remove our ear very carefully off the loom. So that's one ear, and you can go ahead and start the other one if yours is off the loom, but I'm just gonna carefully take it off so my ear does not, the rubber band does not break. Now go ahead and make another ear with you when I'm done. There's one ear, and this one will attach to the left side of the head. So I'm going to actually make this the second one a little different. We're going to make it opposite, so that way I don't have to be awkward. It doesn't have to be awkward for me to attach the right ear, because I'm a righty. So I'm going to make it the opposite way, so that way I can put it on easier. But you can also flop the ear. It really doesn't matter, but I'll just do it this way, so if you can understand it this way, then it'll be easier. So instead of starting on the right side, we're going to start on the left side. So we're going to start from the second peg down and going up and around. Single rubber bands. And we're going to come 3 down, always single. Now this is the second ear. And then we're going to come in after the 4th peg to the center peg. And let's finish the side of the ear here. Once you get there, you come the center of the peg and coming down to meet your bottom ear here, the bottom peg. Now we're going to create the lobe. Take it from the center to the side and diagonally across there. And now we are going to finish off the ear, and we can go ahead and loop this off 3 times so we don't forget to do it later. You can do it on a hand, 1, 2, 3, and then just go ahead and put it right there on that peg. That works too. Now let's do the extended part of the ear. Same thing, I'm just going to do it the opposite way. Maybe if you can see it that way you can understand it, or you can do it the first way, it's fine too. If this is confusing for you, do it like the first time I did the ear. So you're going to loop it across from the center to the side and down 3, and then we're going to come in. And now we're going to start at the top to close off our ear. And this again is the extension part of the ear. And there we're closed it off. And now we are going to put the holding rubber bands, single. All this, your ear should be using, you should be using single rubber bands. And you're putting it from the holding rubber band, should go across from here to there and there to there. And now we are going to loop, create a cap band for this bottom. And now let's loop, go under the cap band, grab the bottom or the top, single. Now only looping single rubber bands. Go ahead, grab your single and going up, creating teardrops, just go right up your ear. Always pull everything back, you're only grabbing only single rubber bands. Make sure you have teardrops going, and you're going to end up at the top of the extension here of your ear. And now we can take off most of this ear except for the very bottom peg and the very top peg. So this top peg here and this bottom peg here, again, we're going to transfer it from here to there and to here. So where my hook is, I'm going to put it at the top of the extension. Grab my finger at the bottom where the cap band was, and I'm going to take off the loom. You have bunny ears there. Transfer it to your main ear. So where the cap band is, you're going to put it on the 4th peg from the top, and then the holding rubber band, you're going to pull it 2 pegs across. And the top holding rubber band, you're going to pull it 2 pegs across where it's near, and then you're going to loop the top where your hook was on the very first side peg there. And now let's put some holding rubber bands. You're going to take a single and make a triangle there. Take another single, double it, and put it on the triangle there. And take another single, double it, and put it on this small 3 triangle here. So there you have it. Triangle here, here, and here to hold your ear. Now we're ready to loop. Let's go ahead and reach in under the cap band, grab the top single, looping it onto itself, reach in there again, grab another single onto itself, and continue around the bottom lobe there and looping it onto itself, creating teardrops. Now we can pull everything back, always grabbing a single bottom rubber band and looping it onto itself. And if you're doing the side where it's going to attach to the head, you're going to stop at the 2nd peg, which would be this one. And now we're going to grab the center ear, center pegs, reach in there, only grabbing at the bottom single rubber band and looping it onto itself. If there's any tension, release it. And let's finish the side where the extended part of the ear was. Pull everything back, grab the bottom single, I'm just finishing looping here, and now I'm just going to go around the ear. You want to do the center first, and then you can do the sides and all the way around to here last, especially from these top pegs. You want to do that last. So you want to grab from there to there, and now from here to here, and then lastly from there to there. And this is where you're going to attach it to your body or your head. So go ahead and take your ear off. And be careful not to take it off where it's going to attach to the head, because that's where all the rubber bands meet, and if you let that go, your entire ear will come apart. Put it on your hook, ready to attach later. So there they are, and now let's make the feet. So for the feet, we're going to create it so that he has little toenails again. So we're going to take a single white and loop it around 3 times on your rubber band, on your hook. Take a single purple, and you can loop it around. I did 3 because it's smaller, and you can spread them later to give them little toenails in between, or you can do 2 single purple and wrap it around 3 times. It's up to you. And this time I'm just going to do all purple. So I'm going to take 2 single purple, and I'm going to transfer his toes right onto that 2 single rubber band, and we can finish the toe on the peg or the leg on the pegs, and I'm going to do it twice here. 1, 2, And then I'm going to attach the toes right onto his leg, attach it onto that peg, and then loop it up. Make sure you pull it. It's kind of like a cap band here. Pull it back and bring it onto itself. There's one of his foot, and we need to create 4 more. So I'm going to just loop these 2 rubber bands at a time. And his feet, I'm going to have it 3 sections. So the first section we're going to attach to his toes with his toenails. So we take a single white, single purple, loop both of those 3 times, take 2 single purple, and pull all that rubber band onto the 2 single. And that's where the pad of his foot is. You can fix it later to create the toenail effect, or you can use the same color. You don't have to have toenails. And then attach it to his feet, his legs here. And make sure when you're attaching, make sure where your hook is, make sure you get all your rubber band right onto the foot. And let's do the other ones. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 single rubber bands. Pull it onto the hook, and then fix it later, and attaching it to the leg. Once again, try to get all your rubber bands on there so we don't lose any of it. And go ahead and reach in and grabbing it. And we'll create the last foot here. Let's attach everything. Put your legs onto your holding hook for later. It won't come off, but just in case. Now let's do the last one. Now if you've done the leg and I'm going too slow for you, go ahead and fast forward. But if you're right along with me, just go ahead and let's create our foot here. And I'm doing it sideways, so I'm a little clumsy. This is our last foot. Again, pull everything right onto that single rubber band, the 2 single. Attach it to your leg. Since he's a baby, we're making his legs shorter, and you can even make his legs a lot shorter than this. That's okay too, or you can make it a little longer, but he should be a little stumpier because he's a baby. So that's his 4th leg. Go ahead and take it off your loom and set it aside. And now let's make his trunk. For his trunk, I'm going to use a little bit of pink. And if your rubber band's really loose, you can wrap it 5 times. And if you feel like it's too loose, wrap it around 5 times. If it's okay, then wrap it around 4, or if you can't do 4, then wrap around 3. So take a single, wrap around how many times you want. I did 4. And we're going to take another single and wrap it around twice on one side and twice on the other, kind of like making the eye. So we're going to give him a little pink in his trunk. And now we're going to do this 2 times. Again, you can use the loom. Let's go ahead, like the foot, we're going to take 2 single. This time we're going to double it, making it a little tight. And we're going to do this twice. Once, take 2 single, double it, and put it there. And now for this part, we're going to take 2 singles, double it, and we're going to transfer and then like the foot, we're going to attach it, carefully pulling it right off your hook and onto that single doubled rubber band, and attaching it onto where your other trunk part is. Turn it around if you have to, if not. And then this is kind of like a cap band. You want to push everything back, grab the bottom rubber bands and looping it onto itself. And be careful, always use a metal hook, because your plastic will break because it's pretty tight. So now we want to take a single purple, whatever the color of the face is, and this is going to hold our trunk to attach to our face later. So that's his little trunk, ready to get on his face later. And now let's make his eyes. And for his eyes, I like to use that glossy blue, and go ahead, take a single blue, loop it around 4 times on your hook. Take a single white and loop it twice on one side, twice on the other. There's one of his eye. Another blue, you can make it whatever color you want. Again, loop it around 4 times around your hook. Take a single white and loop it twice on one side and twice on the other. And there's his eyes. And now you can take your purple single. So now we're going to transfer the eye. Go ahead and very carefully transferring. Pull the next one down, pinch it, transfer it. There, that's his eye. Go ahead and put it on your holding hook for later. And now we are ready to do the body. And let's go ahead and do the body, starting with our loom in that configuration, using 2 single rubber bands at a time. We're going to start at the head, from the top to the side, and down 1. And from that second peg from the top, we're going to go in to the chin peg, and we're going to push it down. On the other side, repeat that. Down 1, and then to the chin. And make sure on the chin peg you want to push everything down, but yet do not overlap it. Push it down very carefully, and do not let it stack or overlap. And now let's come to from the center peg and down to the chin peg there. And now let's do his body. Let's go ahead and from the chin to the side and down 1 for his little body. And then creating an 8. We're going to repeat the other side from the chin to the side, down 1, and from the side to the center peg to where his bottom is there. And now down, hit the center of his body. That chin peg has a lot of rubber bands, but just make sure they don't come off, but don't push it down too much where you can't find all the rubber bands to loop later. So now that we have all his body together, let's put on the leg. Go ahead, grab the legs you made prior, and you can fix his paws later. It's a little jammed here. And attach it to his body, his leg there, his thigh there. That should be the 4th peg from the top. Attach the other leg onto the body, making sure all your rubber bands are on there. There's his leg. And now let's do his eyes, carefully taking it off your hook. Don't lose it. Don't let it come apart. And attaching it from the second peg from the top and then looping it right, separating the eyes and looping it right on that second peg. So you're going to pull it, attaching it here, and then looping the middle over the second center peg there. And you can fix the eyes later. And now let's attach his trunk, and on the same peg you're going to put it right across his face there. That's his little trunk. And now let's attach his ears, and for his ears we're going to attach it right on the top two pegs here. If your foot is attached on the hook, just take it off, it won't come off his front paws. So now let's attach his ears. So this one is the left one. Go ahead and pull everything, and making sure wherever the hook is, you want to put it right on your peg. There. Make sure all that rubber band gets on there so you don't lose your ear, or your ear doesn't come apart. There. That's his second ear. And now let's put some holding rubber bands. Let's take a single rubber band and looping it around the eyes and the nose, the trunk. And take another single and looping it around his torso area there. And now take a single rubber band, and you can loop it around 4 times. Let's make his bottom here a little tight, but if you can do it 3, just do 3. If you can do 4, you can do 4, or you should do 4. But if 4 doesn't work for you, just go ahead and do 3. And now we're ready to loop. Go ahead and reach in that under that cap band, grabbing the top 2 rubber bands. It should be the 1, 2 going up the center of his body. Once you pull it, you can kind of see the teardrop forming and looping it onto itself. Grabbing the next 2, reach under the cap band, grab the next 2, and looping it onto itself. And mine is the one on the left. And now we're going to the one on the right. And go ahead, loop the side of the body, reach all the way in to the very bottom, grab the bottom 2, and stop here. We're going to add the arms now. Let's do the other side. Stop there to add the arms. Now, take your arms that you made prior and grabbing the shoulder rubber band, which is the bottom 2, and then we're going to pull his front legs here, his arms, and looping it right on the chin peg. There's his front arms, and again going through the loop for the second one. You can fix it later, grabbing the shoulder rubber bands and looping it onto the chin peg there. Okay, now that we have that, let's go ahead and finish the center of the body. Before you go on to any step, make sure you check that you have teardrops that catches all the other rubber bands, so you don't miss and have to redo or have to refix or fix. It's a lot harder to do that. Now that we've done all his body and checking, we're going to go up, grabbing the top 2 inside the chin peg, and it should be the one going to the center of his face, and get his trunk in the middle there and looping it onto itself. Grab the next 2, and seems like mine will be the one going to the left, so I'm going to grab that and bring it onto itself. Grabbing the last 2 there. And now let's continue up the side of the face, pull everything back, grab the bottom two, looping it onto itself again, always grabbing the bottom two. If you can't see it, pull it to the side and you should be able to see which rubber bands that you need to pull. Pull all your ear parts back, your rubber bands. And as you're pulling, you should be able to see the teardrops forming, catching the rubber band. And now the last two is the center of the face and looping it right onto the forehead. And your baby elephant here is ready to come off the loom. Let's take a single rubber band to create that slip knot, reach all the way inside the forehead and create that slip knot. If there's a lot of tension, use the back of your hook to help release it. And now let's go ahead and take our baby off the loom. Here, slowly, carefully, so you don't break your rubber bands. And there he is. Just go ahead and kind of stretch him out a little bit if he's a little tight, and pull his eyes out. And don't pull it out too much. You can always adjust his face because it's rubber bands, and there he is, pretty perfect. Adjust his legs and his arms if you want, tuck in his string, and there he is so far. Go ahead and fix the paw and everything how you want, and adjust the ears and pull it out. And now let's add the tail. And for the tail, like the other one, we're going to take a single rubber band, turn him around, reach in between his bottom, grab your rubber band, creating like the slip knot, and pull it up like that, and then tie it off to create a curly Q or a knot there in the back of his body. There's your baby elephant. And again, pull it like you want. I hope you like them. Thanks for watching.